So I've been hearing, talk about destiny swap, and to me, destiny swapping is bullshit. I call bullshit with the destiny swapping thing, right? I saw a video where a woman was talking about destiny swapping with Kim Kardashian and Paris Hilton, right? And that, of course, Kim Kardashian destiny swapped with Paris Hilton. I don't particularly agree with that, right? And I generally, as a consensus, like, I don't generally believe destiny swapping is a real thing. And even if it is, nothing can happen to you in that regard without your consent, right? So let's take Kim Kardashian and Paris Hilton, for the sake of argument, because everyone knows who they are, right? And this is coming from someone who, I was a teenager in the early 2000s. So I love me some Paris Hilton. I used to watch those shows and stuff like that. And I also love Kim Kardashian. And like back in the day, I've watched Keeping Up with the Kardashians since the first episode, since it came out in like 2007. I've watched it. So I don't believe in destiny swapping as a concept just because you have to consent to someone swapping your destiny. And in this case, if you believe that she destiny swapped with Kim Kardashian and Paris Hilton destiny swap, this is where Paris would have consented, right? And this is how oftentimes people know if they have an idea of wanting to destiny swap with you, or if you have something that they covet to the point where they want to get up under you and swoon in your energy, right? I don't think it's necessarily that it has to be this devious sort of thing, right? Because just taking myself, right? I'm not the type of person who sees someone that have something that I want and I get jealous, right? I would be more of the lines that if I see someone having something that I want, I would want to be close to that person so some of that energy can rub off on, right? I'm not a vampiric spirit. So it would pretty much stop there, and it wouldn't be any like obsessive behaviors or anything like that, right? But look at the aesthetic of Kim Kardashian and of Paris Hilton, right? So if you believe that they destiny swap with each other, at the time Paris Hilton was like the bee's knees, the beauty standard, right? So it was easy for a Kim Kardashian to come in and kind of work her way into being a star because the aesthetic of societal beauty standards was shifting, and Kim Kardashian was one of the biggest shifters of the beauty standard. Right now it has shifted again, but from the early 2000s it shifted from this skinny sort of, you remember the I used to watch ANTM a lot. I used to watch America's Next Top Model a lot. So it shifted from the very skinny sort of aesthetic, skinny blonde like Paris Hilton, to the curvier, darker, olive tone like Kim Kardashian, right? Kim Kardashian had to be of a certain level of intellect. Her mom, whoever, whatever machine is behind her, to know, yeah, let's tether ourselves to her. The thing about privilege, like a person like Paris Hilton, is oftentimes privilege is also a blinder of reality. So Paris Hilton probably would have her head so far up her ass. Again, I'm not saying this is what these people are doing, but what I do is teach people how to think differently. That there are so many different scenarios that can be happening that you need to be aware that anything can be possible so that you're prepared. So in my mind, how a Paris Hilton would consent to destiny swapping with Kim Kardashian is being so full of herself through being the beauty standard, for being super successful, that you don't see that this little person that you think is beneath you, you don't see their goals. You don't see their plan. And as someone who leans more towards not being, I'm very hesitant. I'm very cautious, right? I'll enact a plan for a long period of time. I have patience in that regard. My patience is very thin with a lot of things. But when it comes to invoking a plan and carrying out a plan, don't care how long it'll take. I don't care how many lies I gotta tell. I don't care how many smiles I gotta fake. I'm gonna do it. So I recognize that frequency in a Kim Kardashian. Now, I don't got her work ethic, okay? But I recognize that sort of ability to swoop in, use someone else's privilege of thinking that they're better than you and can never be taken down to get what I need from them. That's what Kim Kardashian did. 100%. Absolutely. No one can take anything from you that is truly yours without you giving it away. You always have to consent in some way, shape, or form. This is why it's very important for people to realize how this universe works, how this world works, right? It does not work through the confinements of morality through the lens of Abrahamic religion. This is why loopholes is such a big thing in spirituality, patriarchy, capitalism, the way all of this thing works, because that is what it is. And we have to operate from reality, not from the reality we wish it was or the reality we were told it was, just to find out it is not. So the universe requires balance. The same way, the shenanigans that the government, for an example, is going through currently, the American people consented. The majority of the American people consented to this. This is a whole different example, but it's the same thing because everything is so finely connected. It's crazy. But when you vote for a president, you consent to the government running this place. Right? You consent to the authority of the government just by voting, because you are participating in a system just by you showing up, right? You're saying spiritually, physically, emotionally, logically, financially, in every way, you are saying that these people have the authority to tell me what to do and to run me and the majority of other humans. That's why I'm here to choose between them, right? And because the majority of humans consent, even those of us who don't consent, doesn't matter, because the majority of humans do consent to the system the way that it is. It works in the same way. People can't take anything away from you that you don't give away, right? So nobody can swap destinies with you. So in that case, the example that I use, Paris Hilton, if she had a big head about her position and she was feeling herself and how successful she was, she allowed Kim Kardashian to waltz in her life and take what she is, Kim Kardashian's destiny. The word destiny implies that whoever get it is who it belongs to. Take what, right? So at the end of the day, that's something that we all have to realize, because we consent to everything. If you get abused, if you get hit, if you get violated, whatever, you consented to it because you stayed. It doesn't matter what the reason is. It doesn't matter that you have a gaggle of kids. It doesn't matter that you're young. It doesn't matter that you don't have the money or you can't afford it or you love him. Whatever your reason is, you consent to it. Because if you didn't, either they would be gone or you would be gone. So nothing and nobody can take anything away from you that you don't give them. Period.